Into the self-reflection.
Okay, so we got to get into this. Oh, the Breakfast Club. I used to watch the Breakfast Club a lot, but as they began to get political, it started becoming very apparent to me that Charlemagne the God and company are just they just not it. So this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy, I guess that's how you say his name. I guess he's running for president. He's a very smart guy, tech guy, but I don't know a whole lot about him. But I'm willing to listen to some of the things that he has to say. And obviously, I guess he's a guy of Indian descent. But he goes on the Breakfast Club in hostile territory, and the Breakfast Club absolutely embarrassed themselves. Like, this is ridiculous. So let's go ahead and play this. And we're gonna play this while I get into some more dudes. I'm actually on a 3-game winning streak. I'm surprised. So
I
let's
do
get it.
disagree on what you said about affirmative action because I feel like without that legislation, I don't think black people stand a chance. We had to create the legislation to even have a chance. And I don't know why you have faith that without that legislation, things will be fair or on equal footing for black people.
I think the right way to do this is actually ensure equality of opportunity, educational access at an early age, which, by the way, we don't have in this country, starting at an actual young age. How about doing that in a way that's agnostic to race? That way we prevent seeing one another on the basis of a color of our skin, but we actually solve the real inequalities that we have when it starts with inequality of opportunity, starting with education. So my view is, I think my approach is actually going to be more successful in lifting up more black Americans than have been the Lyndon Johnson approach of actually using race-based quota systems.
Reed says they tried to show that affirmative action was good for him. He was like, I am listed as Asian, so it did not apply to me. Okay, fair enough. All
right, guys. So I want to react to the Breakfast Club interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, who is a GOP presidential candidate. Quite honestly, I got to keep it 100 with you guys. I mean, out of everybody in the GOP field, I think that Vivek Ramaswamy clearly is the smartest, okay? He's clearly the smartest. He's clearly the best at articulating his ideas. I do think that there's some questions about his actual government experience, but I don't think that that actually disqualifies him from being president of the United States. I think he's very smart. And if he doesn't win this time around, which he probably won't, then I would love to see him in some sort of government position and for him to run again. I think that the GOP desperately needs somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy, who's an articulate, smart tech guy that really believes in America's ideals. I think that we really need a guy like him, okay? He's non-divisive, and he's just, in my opinion, he's just a great overall contribution to the GOP and the conservative movement, okay? And he went on a Breakfast Club in hostile territory, and this interview was extra hostile, more hostile than it needed to be, because you have a certain segment of black people in this country, not all black people, but a certain segment of black people that really don't like immigrants, especially immigrants like Vivek Ramaswamy, who they see as benefiting from the work that black people did in regards to getting civil rights, okay? And they especially don't like people like Vivek Ramaswamy because he's a conservative so-called person of color, and
that is like the worst thing you can be when it comes to being around black people. A person of any color who's conservative. That's why blacks and Asians don't get along like that, because Asians tend to be very conservative, and Asians look at like a lot of bullshit that black people do like that's some degenerate bullshit. And black people, for whatever reason, like I'll give you a prime example. Everybody know that YMW Melly is on trial right now for murder. If you look at what's in that case, man, that nigga did that. I got the perfect. I should have. I need to have this on my soundboard, but like, he did it. Hold on. Hold on.
The cutest. See, now he thought the excuse, but comment. The jury will not.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. YMW Melly.
Guilty. That nigga is guilty. Sir, settle.
Guilty. I'm just telling you. People keep saying, "Oh, Melly gonna beat it." No, he's not gonna beat it. But the fact that people keep saying free Melly after he murdered his two best friends, that is degenerate BS. But whatever. Let's continue.
Is advocating for policies that are actually fair to all Americans. Like, for example, he's against affirmative action, as you saw at the beginning of this video. Charlamagne the God triggered by the fact that Vivek Ramaswamy is against affirmative action.
All right, I get it, bro. I really do.
That all black
get it.
And
Okay.
Racist on the Breakfast Club to this man. When if there was another candidate, if it was a Democrat who was a so-called person of color running for president, they would never be this hostile to that person. So without further ado, let's roll it.
mention, the pride of being an American, and it is to have pride in this country. I'm also a veteran, by the way, for the United States Air Force. So when is it that you voted for the first time?
I voted in 2020.
Okay, so you're how old again?
I'm 37 years old.
So for how many years you sat around and did not get involved at all in any civic engagement? Is that my understanding?
A long time is the answer. And actually, that's what I wrote this book about. I'm not holding myself out as some sort of model. I'm actually offering myself as a self-reflection of my journey as a citizen to whom this country has given much, right? As an adult, when you have kids, it changes your perspectives. I'm very honest about that. Absolutely.
Okay, no problem. So let's go deeper into the self-reflection. So you've sat around for, and sir, I'm being as respectful as I possibly can. Please don't take anything
and you don't even have to be.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. As soon as she said that, I knew she was about to be disrespectful. And you'll see throughout this interview, she was very disrespectful. And he said, you don't even have to be, because he knew where he knew what he was going into. He knew she was going to be disrespectful anyway. You could tell how the tone she came off that she was very disrespectful. Very. And this is why our women get such a bad rep around the world, because it's just, bro, it's just mad. It's just.
And you don't even have to be. So take it off. And
well, again, the fact that she said that tells you that she's not actually trying to be respectful, right? Just look at her tone. Look at the way she's framing this. You sat around and did nothing for years, right? Why do you think you could be president? You didn't do nothing. Clearly, there's some hostility here.
Let's go.
So you've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built for.
You see what I'm saying, guys? Right? This is exactly
in the country that my ancestors built. Like, this is absolutely madness, bro. Like, how a person can get up here and truly, like, you have a somebody who's trying to get up here and run for office, run for president, and you're sitting up here. This is the way you're gonna talk to them? Is this really how we as man? Guys, before we get into it, I just want to say that if you agree with or like any part of my commentary, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. It's becoming very apparent that YouTube is not a fan of the conservative nature in which we speak about movies, video games, pop culture, and politics around here. And so if we can get our engagement right, when we go up to YouTube, we can swipe our race card without having to worry about it declining, okay? Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? You've been sitting around in the country that my ancestors built. Well, first and foremost, everybody's ancestors helped build this country, okay? I'm sick and tired of this conversation about who built the country. Everybody's ancestors helped build the country. I really don't know why this is such a hard concept to grasp, okay? People love talking about this to divide people. Regardless, the whole point of her saying that is because there's animosity here, okay? There's animosity that Vivek Ramaswamy is a child of immigrants that came over, okay, to this country, okay, and was successful, and he's also now pushing for policies that she believes are not helpful or harmful towards black folks. So this is why she's so upset. This is why she's framing it like this. Again, if this is any other candidate, she wouldn't be framing it like this.
For about 20 years, your parents came over as immigrants, brought you over. You made millions, according to your resume, off of this country, and you have absolutely not been involved in civics. One, not voting, and two, let me just ask, because I know you mentioned earlier you don't want to sit around at the debate and talk about accomplishments. Let's make the accomplishments pretty simple. In high school, were you ever a class president or take any leadership role? Because your opponent did, Chris Christie. He was the class.
Disrespectful as hell. Disrespectful as hell.
President. So
Yeah,
have you ever taken any leadership at all on anything, or just?
Can I just correct a couple factual things that are kind of important? My parents didn't bring me over to the country.
Facts. Facts. I love the way he said that. Again, she's framing this as if, again, this dude is an immigrant. Again, it reminds me of that rant that Amazing Lucas went on when he got mad, right? After Vivek Ramaswamy destroyed Don Lemon, when it comes to this conversation about the Second Amendment and the Civil War, right? You know, and how the Second Amendment rights played a big part in black people securing their freedom. clearly in that rant, he didn't know that Vivek Ramaswamy is actually not an immigrant. He's a full-blooded American, right? He was born here in this country, right? And again, if he was an immigrant, if he was bought over here from India by his parents, he wouldn't be able to run for president. Again, these people clearly need to take a civics course, okay? You know, the same civics course that Vivek Ramaswamy is advocating for 18-year-olds to take before they're able to vote, right? Because clearly these people don't know how it works in regards to who's eligible to be president.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that, because like people getting up here and just saying anything, bro, like it's absolutely ridiculous.
Because the fact that they just assume that this guy is an immigrant because he's Indian shows you exactly how racist these people actually are, right? They're very racist, okay?
And that's another that's another reason why I stopped watching The Breakfast Club. They're obviously racist up there. Some of the stuff that Charlemagne frequently says is ridiculous. And you know, it's like, oh, we're black, so we should be able to say, you know, whatever we want to say. And I can't rock with that. I simply can't rock with it.
People in this country.
I was born in this country, and I'm proud of that.
No, I know you were born here in Ohio.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned
No, you didn't. Right? No, you didn't. No, you did not. No, you didn't. You assume this man was bought over here. He's off the boat. That's what they think.
I'm saying your parents were immigrants. My apologies.
You know, that's all right. You said your parents brought you over to this country.
Yeah, my apologies. I mean, they were immigrants, but let's not go down the water hole.
No.
Yeah, let's not go down the rabbit hole.
Let's not go down the rabbit hole. I love it when these people are losing a debate. They want to change the subject so bad, bro. It is absolutely ridiculous. Let's not go down the rabbit hole. You can't make this shit up, bro.
I'm a racist, right? You know, let's not go down this rabbit hole. Clearly, she doesn't even know the basic factual information about the background of Vivek Ramaswamy. She's just, again, assuming because she's a racist that he was bought over here.
No, I was going to correct a couple facts, and then the other thing is
you were born here in Ohio.
I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio.
This is after her producers got in her ear and told her, you need to correct this, right? You got this wrong. Her producer in her ear telling her to correct.
That's right.
Right. So you've been here your entire life. So the question is, did you take any leadership role in middle school, high school, class president?
I did.
I know you played tennis. What is it? Explain it.
Strut, why does this matter? Why does it matter what you did?
Since when did being a class president in high school qualify you for running for president? I'm so confused by that.
Did in high school. Again, this is not applying to college, right? This is you're talking about being president of the United States. I don't give a damn about what a presidential candidate for the United States did in high school. I don't care about that. I mean, again, this is just a silly question. This is pointless. I don't understand.
Is it? Explain it to
Student council. But, you know, I think that this is yes, I have held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Okay,
it kind of does. Well, I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
All right, there you go.
So it
You see how this is why I've said for the longest, bringing women in on conversations like this, you derail the conversation. You see how she's taking advantage of being in a position of power, well, what she perceives as a position of power. I'm like, let me run that back really quick.
Council, but you know, I think that this is yes, I have held leadership roles over my life, but those don't qualify me to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Okay,
it kind of does. I'm giving the test. I'm the test administrator.
All right, there you go.
So it kind of does, because when you go,
what the fuck are we doing? Like, that's how you talking to people coming on you, man. If you don't get
from saying I want to go to the highest office,
and I'll tell you, I've led companies as well. Is the other leader? The main leadership role I played is, and I want to talk about one early part of your premise that I also want to say, bring it to the country point. The other point, you use the word sitting around. You know, I'm not somebody who's saying I want the next generation, my kids' generation, to have more civic duties when they graduate from high school and college than I did when I did. That being said, I wasn't sitting around. I've developed medicines, 5 of which are FDA-approved products today. One of which is a life-saving therapy in kids, 20 of whom die by the age of 3 if they're not treated, 70% of whom now live lives of a normal duration. Another one for prostate cancer. So I don't apologize for making contributions. But
well, I don't want you to filibuster that because that's not the question that I asked.
Well, it is the question that you asked, right? You asked, what have he done? What type of leadership positions has he had, right now. Again, if you want to define a civic duty, okay, as having some government job or something like that, then I guess fine, maybe he hasn't done that. But I think what he has done, if he's to be believed, right, he's developed life-saving therapies for children. That's a lot more than most people. It's definitely a lot more than what this woman has accomplished. Okay, again, it's just funny. So much animosity in this interview for no reason.
I don't consider, as a veteran, I'm talking about service. I'm not talking about what you
Civic
did for
service.
profit. I'm not talking about what you paid people to do with your company. I'm not talking about
I've not served the country
because that
in the way
means
you
nothing
have.
to me.
It doesn't mean nothing to her, right? Creating life-saving therapies means nothing to her. It means nothing to her.
Look at, I mean, you just cannot make this up, man. Like, this is really how you're talking to people, but you want people to take you seriously. And this is why nobody takes Charlemagne seriously anymore. This is why nobody takes the Breakfast Club seriously anymore. The Breakfast Club used to be one of the most influential, mediums on the planet. And now nobody's watching it. I mean, you just can't make this up. You can't make it up.
Able to ask a question. She's been trying to ask a question, and you've been talking over her.
I'm all ears.
Her question is stupid. Her question is dumb. She's wasting time.
We gave you the platform to let you say
I'm
what you said.
defensive. I'm all ears. No, I was just correcting a couple facts.
She hasn't had a chance to
That's
ask
all.
a question yet. Every time she tries to ask a question.
And here's the thing. Charlemagne is a simp. Everybody knows Charlemagne is a simp. I mean, not Charlemagne. I'm sorry. DJ Envy is a simp. Everybody knows DJ Envy is a simp. He's on here talking tough, trying to interrupt Mr. Ramaswamy and trying to take control of everything when he... Don't even get me started on this guy.
You've been cutting her off. Good.
I'm all ears.
Right. So my question again is, you're trying to, your goal is to raise the standard, and you're saying you want people to believe in country and you want people to have civic engagement. And sir, I just find it very telling that you haven't had any civic engagement at all and haven't been at all. And when I say sit around, I don't mean you haven't done anything. I'm talking about in regards to service, because one thing about political office, the same way that you want to change how people look at politics and look at this country, I want to change how people look at politicians. And when I see that someone hasn't did anything at all to be of service to mankind, to take a leadership role. It's not good enough to just be on city student council. Were you a leader? All of that applies. Have you been able to get anybody in the room at any time, from a high school gymnasium to Ohio, Republican leadership there to now? Have you been able to get anybody in the room to believe in this vision? I don't agree with a lot of your vision statement, but I do know you've been going around having these discussions and getting everybody emotionally worked up to talk about vision and debate. But I want to get to the practical. You're trying to go from preschool to president of the United States. You're skipping over city council, county council, mayor, governor. You want to go straight to the top. So my question is this a PR? Is this for the PR, the perception of reality? Or can you point to any leadership where you've been able to get people to believe in what you're talking about that they're not paid to do on any of these vision statements that you have? If not, then to me, it's a moot point, because you're holding a standard.
Like, come on, bro. It's a mute point. She wanted to say moot, but she said mute. Like, dude, this is peak embarrassment. And, we're going to stop the video right there. But I do want y'all to see this. Because not even black, because, it's easy to say, okay, this is how black people conduct themselves. But for the record, not even black people like this mess. Look at the likes to dislikes ratio. 4,200 dislikes, 22,000 dislikes. And we can go into the comments section and look at what people are saying. This is a black woman. She says, "I'm confused. So what we want in a president is someone who fought for school lunch." Nah, facts. This is the most elementary interview ever. Y'all could have left her out of this. Facts. That is the top comment, I believe. Exactly. Oh man, I'm gonna have a good time reading those later. This person says, "I don't have a specific political affiliation. However, I would express my gratitude to this woman for influencing me to support Vivek and encouraging me to exercise my voting rights." Facts. Congratulations, you moron. You helped him because you showed how incompetent you are and how people don't want to align with whoever aligns with you because you were absolutely incompetent. And I reject this notion. This is why I have zero respect for Charlemagne and DJ Envy in this situation. I highly reject this notion that I'm going to invite you onto my platform, but because I'm not educated or smart enough to be able to debate you on these policies and these things that you talk about, I'm going to bring some other moron who I believe is more competent to debate you. What? Anyway, Vivek did a phenomenal job maintaining his composure during this. A veteran who was an actual leader of soldiers. I see a lot of great leaders qualities in Vivek. Okay, God, she is insufferable. All hosts were. Actually, Vivek was calm, cool, collected, and was the only adult in the room. He earned my vote. As a black man, this interview embarrassed me. I'm a veteran, and when I hear somebody mention that they are a veteran so much, I think they are self-centered and they demand respect. You joined the Air Force, ma'am, known for being pencil pushers. Good to know that a majority of people did not like how they did this interview. It was just a straight up one-sided attack on the guests. And what pisses me off about interviews like this, ladies and gentlemen, is you never hear, despite getting roasted and dusted online over this, you never get a chance to hear these people come back and apologize and atone for what they did. Unless I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, somebody let me know. But you'll never hear Charlemagne and DJ Envy come on air and say, hey, listen, we conducted this interview and it didn't look good and we apologize for it. Nope. There's no accountability. There's no accountability. This wasn't an interview. It was an ambush, totally hostile. He handled himself really well. She made me like Vivek even more. Exactly. If these are black voices that are leading the black community, y'all deserve everything y'all get. Oh, that's not gonna bother over there. They aren't, and you know it. As part African, I could not agree more. I absolutely agree. The Breakfast Club is also part of the problem. This person says, awesome. She showed that she's a selfless leader by purposely allowing herself to look like the biggest idiot of 2023 just so she can make Vivek look like he's even better. Truly one of the leaders of all time. Dude. You can't make this stuff up, man. What?